Okay, so what up guys, another video in this series of the RTA playing tips. In this video I'm gonna talk about rule number 2 or play tip number 2. How to be tilt proof or don't tilt in general. So the thing is, everyone knows tilting, everyone does it. Especially in like the things you're passionate about, you really like to do, you want to win. Especially with these things that sometimes happen out of your control, like a proc or a resist or anything like that. Especially those kind of things, but it could be related to like any game. There's so much more tilting in other games than just summoners war. Look at like League of Legends, Overwatch, all these big games, probably even Fortnite, PUBG, those kind of games. I don't play those too, but tilting is everywhere. And the simple thing is, no one is gonna play better when they tilt. And as you guys can see, there's only 4.5 days left exactly at this moment for this RTA season. It's currently RTA season 7 if you watch it somewhere in the future. But I want to bring this video just for like these last few days for the people that want to say like, hey, I want to go to the C1 or I want to hit like the G1 or the G2. Try to follow these lines for like how to be tilt proof. I can't necessarily say that I'm super tilt proof. No, I'm actually known as one of the biggest tilters of like the EU server, probably. Like I tilt all the fucking time. Maybe because of that, I probably know like how should you handle with it. I probably don't always do this, so bear with me. The thing is, I've been tilted this season out of like high G3 to low G3 or like G3 out of G3. I think like 7 or 8 times. And the thing is actually really simple. How does it happen? The moment you say like, hey, I play one game, you win, you stop. Same as you see, for example, in the YDCB videos. He also tended to do that kind of stuff. He says, I play one game, he loses, he plays another. If he would win, he would stop, right? Same for you probably. You say like, I'll just do like one RTA, doesn't matter, win or lose. That's what I say to myself like all the time. Just one RTA, win or lose, doesn't matter, just one. But the moment you lose, you're so much more likely to play another one because you said like, hey, this was bullshit, I should have won, I'll play another one. Same thing happens, pop, 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 tilting, you fucking drop a shit ton of rating, and that's exactly what happens. So that's what you gotta prevent. So the best thing to do those kind of things is really simple, said, but really difficult to do. It's simply take a break. Take a break moment shit goes down. Also, I believe in, you got winning streaks and losing streaks, and these two go both quite heavy. And I think that's, of course, it's pretty much RNG related, but you all had these moments like everything was landing. And you probably maybe noticed it, maybe didn't really notice it, but you of course noticed these times where nothing was landing. All the bombs were missing, all the armor breaks were missing, you didn't get any proc, enemy got all of these procs. I think these things, maybe like everyone wants to believe in something, right? I kind of want to believe that these things come in phases. So you have a phase where maybe it's a couple of hours, maybe it's your login time, maybe it's just the login itself, something, I don't know, believe in whatever time gate kind of stuff or anything you want to believe in. But you got these moments where everything just goes wrong and you make it worse, or maybe it's just because of you tilting. Maybe you're not picking the correct units, maybe just smashing like the same units over and over just because like, hey, this used to work, right? Or maybe it's not working against the right enemies, against the right targets you're trying to focus, the right people you want to kill, anything like that. So take a break. The moment you see a couple of matches, like, you have to be self-conscious, like, hey, did I make the best plays here, or am I just tilting? The moment you're tilting, the best way by far is to do is just stop playing for a moment. Take a walk, maybe look at this kind of stupid, like, fluffy, what the fuck are they called? Stuffed animals. Punch him if that helps you. Like anything, doesn't matter. Like, okay, sorry, bro, but I have this other one. I just tend to throw that around. Like, if that helps, sure, do it. But don't just throw them out and keep playing, because then you're still on the tilting level of making mistakes. You gotta like keep your focus, especially with this. It's a thinking game. You have a limited amount of time, but the moment you do every move in the first second of your 30 seconds or 15 seconds or whatever it is, you're pretty much tilting. You know you are just smashing buttons, you're not making the right calls, right? So maybe just walk around the block, play some other like areas of the game, maybe play a different game or at all, or like anything like that that works for you. Maybe watch like a TV series for half an hour and just farm some giants or anything. But my biggest recommendation is stop playing the moment you feel it's going wrong. And for me, that's also really difficult. I can tell you the only moment I finish my 30 wings is when I start losing. The moment I start losing is like I play another one and another one and another one and another one. And pretty much I think like at least 80% of the time when I finish all 30 wings, it's because I was in a losing streak. And it's 80% of the time at least. So that's what I'm saying. So, oh yeah, by the way, this is a different account. This is not my main account. As you can see, it didn't even use my placement battle, but I use this one to watch replays. This is also quite important for yourself. Watch your own replays. So for this account, I've just mainly used it to watch replays. I think I can give you an example of someone. Wait, here am I. So be honest to yourself, watch your replays, especially when you're tilted. Don't watch your replays tilted because you will get more angry, probably, likely. That's what I usually do, because like, see, it was bullshit. It was bullshit, right? It was bullshit. It's like, yeah, sure, it was bullshit. Maybe you lost because of the proc. But if you banned something else or you picked something else, the proc maybe didn't even have to matter. You would still win. Could be, right? Very possible. So those are the things, and I think this is, I don't have that much matches in there, and this is pretty much just a winning streak. But the thing is, I know this guy actually, he was like 2130, 2150 maybe, and he pretty much tilted all the way down to 2040 within a day. So the moment you lose to a C3 and you go minus 15 points, just like I keep saying it, just stop playing for the moment. And I want to take you to a website, and that's actually some people that is from the League of Legends community, and it's some people sharing their stories about what they do when they tilt or how they hang around with tilting. So let's check out that, and I will leave that link in the description as well. And you can probably Google it. Like, tilting is everywhere, and it's really difficult to prevent, but it's gonna like improve your game a lot and your ranking a lot if you know how to deal with it. So this is the website I was talking about. How do I deal with tilt? So I'm not gonna read through the whole thing, but mainly what the guy is saying, like, hey, I just won the game, like I died 8 times, I couldn't make any kills, I couldn't make any assists even, and pretty much like the whole team was pretty much shit and we lost. Well, the thing is, with League of Legends, you have your teammates which you have to be reliant on to win the game, more or less, right? But you can carry them. It's exactly the same thing in Summoner's War. You're reliant on RNG, but you can carry it by making the best calls you can make. Look at it like that. It's the same as like a 5-man team game. You're the one person that has to make the best calls. And the thing with these games is, let's say you have trollers in your game, you have bad people in your game. It's more likely that the enemy has 5 players, right? You have only 4 other players. So statistically wise, you should have a less likely chance of having people fuck up your game, unless you fuck up your own game, right? And that's exactly the same thing in Summoner's War. If you're a better player than your enemy, then of course RNG can fuck you up sometimes. But in the end, that's gonna be even, and if you're the better player, you can outsmart him, outplay him, and that's where you gain your points. So let's just like look through a couple of things, what people say. Like, I'm not gonna read through the whole thing. Actually, when you're tilting, go to this site, go back to this video, save it somewhere maybe, or save this site, and just check it. Just check it. Just read through what other people do. Maybe that's relaxing, or have like some kind of like mantra videos, or like I know some guys that are like just watching like chiropractor videos. They don't even know anything about chiropractic or never even been there, but it's just relaxing for them, right? Get something like that. Get your relaxing vibe. Also, when you play RTA, get your relaxing music. Don't go for like the super pumped up music. Go for music where you can think with. Like for me, it's like relaxing piano music. That's the only moment I listen to relaxing piano music, pretty much. So getting your own vibe where you can just relax. Don't get like, I wouldn't recommend going like super hardcore hardstyle kind of music when playing RTA, right? It's not smashing buttons, it's not League of Legends, it's not Overwatch, it's a thinking game. And well, maybe it works for you, but that's what I think personally. So yeah, this guy also says like, hey, if you lost some, if you're tilting, don't immediately go into another match. Just take a break, watch some episodes, watch some like top 5 fails or whatever makes you laugh. That's a good thing. Do something that makes you laugh. And he's actually saying for League, all of these games are really long, but still the thing of progressing is the same. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. And you want to win, you want to progress. So watch K-pop videos, especially Twilight. Oh, these girls are cute. I like my Korean girls, but whatever. that works for people. Like the fuel for desiring your outcome better than wasting your energy and raging. Yeah. Well, they're giving. Well, this is actually funny. Like I play darts and have Timo's face on my dartboard feel good. Well, it's like punching this thing or like throwing this one. Like if I actually punch the wall, did it sometimes? Can't say I don't do it. But the wall will break. This thing didn't break so much. And if this thing is like 20 kwai, that's like €3. Things super cheap. So if it breaks, doesn't matter. It's like, yep. I've seen this picture before, like 0, 16, and 2 and 3 games. Well, if you know the game, that's pretty much like. But yeah, take deep breaths. Important. The thing is, they always say like, take deep breaths. The actual like scientific thing about taking deep breaths is mainly your brain getting more oxygen. That's taking deep breaths. And that's just good for you. That's just good for you. So also a thing, like a lot of people do it, also I do it, I'm also guilty to that. Don't just start like showing off all of your bad RNG to everyone. I'm pretty sure anyone that played RTA has like one or these 2 or 3 moments where they went into like the enemy luck of like the possibility of like 0.005% or whatever, and like super RNG, and they won because of that, and you went like minus 15 points because of that. We all have that. Sure, you can show them to like a couple of people, but don't just like start spamming them around and stuff like that, because you're probably not gonna get the reaction from them that you want, because honestly, what kind of reaction do you want? Like, hey man, that was shit. It's not gonna make you feel better. If they say like, hey, it was actually not that bad, you will feel more angry, right? All been there. So yeah, that's the thing. It just, that's the thing, how you become like tilt proof. And I'm just saying this because I'm a big tilter myself, that's for sure. I'm definitely a big tilter, but and for me it's also really difficult to just say like, hey, I'll walk away for a moment. It almost sounds like you get into the fight with the bully, but you know, like either he's gonna punch you and you don't win, you punch him and you get punished by the school or whatever, and you still don't win. And neither is gonna make you feel better. And sometimes it's just better to walk away. Of course you can think like, hey, if I'm not gonna play, I will never get my points back. Makes sense, but if you're gonna play right now, you're probably gonna lose more and more. So just, I've been talking about this for like 15 minutes already. Not sure if you're all sticking like all the way to the end and it's like, okay, I heard you say it, right? Let's take a break. Yes, it's simply as that, but try it. Like, it's so simply said, just take a break, but actually go in a losing streak, and before you actually start like losing really a lot, you take a break. Out there, you try it. It's so much more difficult than, maybe it's just me, but as far as I know, the Summoners War community, it's very difficult for a lot of people to just like, hey, say like, hey, I'm tilting right now, I'm gonna take a break, I'm gonna walk around the block, I'm going to like a cafe, drink a beer or two or whatever, I'm just gonna take a break right now, and then continue like in a few hours maybe, or maybe the next day, or like we have 4.5 days left. Just spread it out. Don't go for like the rushing like all 30 wings right now because you're in C3 and you want to get a G1. I just, the moment it's resetting at like 12, I'm playing for like 3 hours straight, tilting all the way till the end, rushing all my wings. That's not gonna happen. It's maybe you get there, but likely, especially when it gets to the point where it's getting like more and more important, you're actually getting to the deadline. That's exactly where it gets more frustrating when you lose. We've all been there. I know exactly how that works. And that's exactly the point where you would say like, okay, break it down. I'll walk away. I'll come back in a few hours. Clear mind. I'm not gonna look at the previous match. Every match is a new match. Has nothing to do with the previous match unless you're fighting exactly the same guy and exactly the same monsters and you know how to beat him right now. Every match is different. Don't think of it like that's also a tilting mentality. You go into your next match and you're still thinking about the previous match. What ifs? What if this? What if didn't proc? Or what if I use this? Blah blah. No, every match needs your clear mind, your clear focus, and your best calls on every possible option. And that's only what you get if you have like a focused mind. And tilting does not help for that. So that's pretty much all I've been trying to say. I'll leave this video in the description down below. Check it out. Maybe Google some things like how do I deal with tilting or how to become tilt proof. If you have some interesting, leave it in the comments as well. But yeah, that's pretty much how I deal with tilting, or I want myself to deal with tilting. If you guys have some other like ideas or some other options that you guys do, let me know, because tilting is a big thing, especially where there's like a lot of RNG involved. But handling it and handling it in a good way is so important for all of our ranks pretty much. So yeah, this was Seiishizo. I hope you like this play tip, and peace out. I know I already like quit the video, but I was scrolling some more and I think this one is really applying to us pretty much. At least to me, that's really something I would do. It's like understand what you're actually doing and stop autopiling mode. The autopilot mode. That's what I do. At some point I just go into RTAs, I just press next, I just press my 5 monsters I use the most, I just press go, and it's autopilot mode. And that's I think this is the one that I can find myself the most in. At some point when I'm tilting, I'm just autopiloting. I'm just doing like muscle memories of like picks and bans, and I just pray for the best outcome pretty much, and I just keep spamming it, doing it over and over and over. So understanding what you're actually doing, like taking a step back, looking at what you're doing, looking at what's actually going wrong with a clear mind, that's pretty much for me would be the best one. This one is quite interesting for me. This is what I should do. Maybe it helps for you as well. Maybe just scroll through the list. There's a couple of more guys saying stuff on the internet. There's a couple of more guys saying stuff. But I think being aware of what you're doing and understand what you're doing is super important. So yeah, again, Seiishizo here. Peace out.